Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of EduCATE. Today we're going to be talking about the 3 steps on how to create an amazing brand. So let's dive right in. Step number 1, focus on your target audience. Think about what kind of industry you're in and what type of clients you want to attract. For me, I'm in the wedding industry, so I wanted to attract women. So I kept this in mind when choosing my brand name. Step 2, make your brand name personal. Now this applies to small business owners who run their own business solely by themselves and only have about 1 or 2 employees, if that. These types of small businesses are built on personal relationships between the business owner and their clients. Because you are interacting with your clients on a very personal level, it is so important to make your brand name personal to you and personal to who your clients are investing their money in. Step 3, make sure your brand name is unique. Now this is probably a no-brainer, but what I'm referring to is making sure that you Google your brand name that you've thought of and make sure that nobody has already taken it already. Now that I've explained those 3 easy steps, I want to give you a little perspective on how I created my brand name. So if you don't already know, my brand name is Violet Iris Studios. Now I'm going to break this up into 3 different sections, 1 for each word. So the first word in my brand name is Violet, and I chose that because it catered to my target audience, which is women. And violet also plays a very personal part in my life because my favorite color is purple, and people who know me know that I'm a little too much obsessed with purple, but hey, I own it and that's part of my brand and that is who I am as a person, and I wouldn't want to have a brand color that didn't fully represent me and who I am. Word number 2. Word number 2 I chose was iris. Now I chose this word for a few reasons. One being the fact that I was now going to offer not only photography, but cinematography as well. Now you're probably thinking, what the heck does that have to do with the word iris? Now let me tell you. The iris is the part of the camera that lets light in. It's also the part of the camera that controls your f-stop, and for me, my favorite thing about the camera is the f-stop and having that sweet 1.4, 1.8 f-stop with all that bokeh and that shallow depth of field. Oh, it just speaks to me. So cinematographers nowadays use the same Canon DSLRs that they use for photographing for HD video. So I was going to be using the same cameras that I already had been using, just in a very different way. The third word that I used was studios. Now I simply chose this word because I wanted my target audience to know what I was offering. Now, they might not know exactly what I'm offering, but they know that I'm offering some sort of creative service. And what I wanted to make sure was that if I didn't use that word studios and just had the company be Violet Iris, people would think I was a florist, and I'm not a florist. So I made sure that I tacked on studios onto the end so people would know, hey, she offers some sort of creative service, but I know she's not a florist, because if she were a florist, she wouldn't have that studios word on the end of her brand name. So let me check her out and see what she does. So that was my reasoning behind my brand name. I hope that somehow helps anybody out there with their process of building a brand name and building their brand presence. If anybody has any questions or needs any help, feel free to comment below, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have for me.